Hello everyone, this is just a dad. So should you buy the Ecovacs X11 Pro Omni robot vacuum cleaner? So I did purchase this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money. I wasn't sponsored. I wasn't given this robot vacuum cleaner. This is home of the honest review where I purchase them and give you my honest opinion. I have lived with this robot vacuum cleaner at my home for over 2.5 months. And I'll get right to the point. It is not going to get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. And I'm going to go over a list of reasons why. It's not super bad robot. It just doesn't, it's not high on my list of robot vacuum cleaners. If you want to find the robots that I actually love and approve of, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. That's where you can find the Mova P10 Pro, the Mova V50. There's some certain Roborocks that I also like. Justadadapproved.com. If you end up purchasing a robot off of my website or in this video description, I am an Amazon affiliate. The product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Okay, let's get started. Cleaning log, I've got 288,000 square feet cleaned, 80 hours. It doesn't tell me exactly how many cycles. I had it on a pretty aggressive cycle at my home. If we click on here, quite a few. When it can do a certain room, it does okay. When it was in agent mode, which was cleaning the whole house, it did struggle. I had to add a fair amount of obstacles, like it couldn't go underneath some certain furniture. Now, this robot vacuum cleaner has a big battery and it has fast charging. That's probably one of the shining lights of this robot vacuum cleaner. And it's really meant for a home that has mainly hardwood floors or not a lot of carpet. Now, one of the things I don't like about it is it's heavy. Ecovacs robot vacuum cleaners typically tend to be on the heavy side. Now, you may say that's not that big of a deal, but you typically do have to kind of pick these up once in a while. They're getting stuck sometimes. Sometimes you got to do the maintenance. And when a robot vacuum cleaner is super heavy, I just don't like that a whole lot because we can get robot vacuum cleaners that clean just as good that aren't as heavy. Now, something else I wish it had, so it's a good mop roller. The mop roller doesn't go all the way across. It does extend it up against the wall. It does an okay job of that, but there's no cover. So that's why you can have it vacuum first, but sometimes it has to get the mop roller wet. And if it's wet, it does lift it up. But if you have normal size carpet, it is going to drag it. There's no real pet hair management. It's a single piece, so hair is going to wrap around. There is a comb back there, but I've found that the comb doesn't work the best. Now, something else Ecovacs are pretty prone to, their side brushes, their design, they spin on carpet, so they like to pick up cords, like a string on a pair of shorts, and when they wrap, they pretty much destroy the side brush. It wraps so tight that the side brush you end up having to replace. So the side brush ends up getting the robot into more trouble than anything else. Now, this is the bagged version. They have an Ecovacs X11 that is bagless. That one might be a little better. Bags were hard to find. Typically on the robots I've recommended, I've never had a problem finding even generic bags. On the Mova V50 and P10 Pro and Curve, I found some really good where we can save money on generic ones. They're just so widely available, but for some reason, Ecovacs parts are a little harder to get a hold of. Okay, let's go right to the scoring system. It's an expensive robot, $1,000. So the hassle factor is a 3. There are, again, with it being heavy, the maintenance is a little tricky on it. Mop performance, it actually is a very good mopping robot. Carpet cleaning is okay, but the hair test is a 3. Obstacle and clutter, it does an okay job. It's just not the best. So the overall score, 3.8. It's going to be a skip it for me because there's just quite a few things. No cover for the mop. And again, I'll have my scoring sheet all typed out on my website, justadadapproved.com. But right now it vacuums a lot of water. The brush roller was hard to clean. I did get some hair wrap. Navigation is not super efficient. It does a good job of mapping and going around your house. It does get stuck sometimes. But the efficiency of it, I find it going in circles sometimes, which I'm going to show you in this video. Travels over carpet. So a lot of times when it has to go into another room, and let's say the mop pad's wet, instead of traveling on hardwood floor, which is right next, I found it kind of going in bigger circles and going on carpet sometimes when it didn't have to. Some of the app pop-ups in the app were in Chinese, and the artificial intelligence app inside this Ecovacs app is way overly complicated. I don't like something that's super complicated like that. The side brush is prone to tangle and it's heavy. Now, what did I like about it? Small thresholds, it is actually good at getting into other rooms, but again, for small thresholds. Add versus reality, The AI sensor on the front does a good job of sensing dirt, sensing the large particles. It did a good job with that. Auto empty works great, cleans out the dustbin. It does have a big battery, and it does charge, fast charging. It charges while it's washing the mop. It supports Matter. This ends up being a home with lots of hard surface. That's kind of a bigger home that you want it to clean in one charge. Here's my specs that are important to me. Again, you can find this on my website. 19,500 pascals of suction. That's not overwhelming. No side reach, no cover for the mop roller. Side brush, it can lift it, but it's kind of a weird lift. Main brush is a single with a comb, but the comb doesn't do a good job. It does have an onboard water tank. It has a video camera. Obstacle avoidance was really good. But what I found is while it can avoid obstacles, if there's a chair leg here and a chair leg here and one here, it can get into trouble and not get out. That's where I found it having problems with. No chassis lift. Thresholds, about 1.6 with these climbing claws. It is on a thicker side, almost 4 inches. Does do hot water, not super hot water, just 167 hot air. Dirt detect, 2 solution tanks, but I don't find those solution tanks to be that, we can't control how much it adds, and it's just really hard. It does have tray removal. I'm going to show you some examples of it clean. So the Ecovacs X11 is not super loud when it's traveling from room to room. We're going to see how well it mops up this front area. You do hear a water gurgling sound. It does a better job of keeping the mop roller away from the carpet. Navigation can be a little tricky sometimes. It has went in a circle about 4 times around, in one spot. It really can't identify that leg very well. It has bumped into it a bunch, and then it just sat and spun a while. It's really spent a lot of time around these 2 legs right here. Okay, that cleaning pattern was just off a little bit. It really couldn't figure out this area, and it's cleaned my house for 3 months, so I'm not sure what's going on. Did leave a little bit of water underneath there. Now we're going back. It's done the perimeter of this room. It should now be doing nice straight lines. The water does get a little heavy when it turns on the sides. Now I can turn that water down a little bit. I might have it turned up a little bit too much, but it actually looks like it misses a spot. When it turns, there's a spot where it misses. Its sensor on the front can also misidentify these knots as a stain. And I could say that I will tell it that that's a wrong designation. What it's doing, it's identifying these knots as stains. And then it stops the vacuum part and goes into an intense mopping. Also something else, this wall actually goes to here. I don't like how it thinks the wall ends there. Now it shows the wall kind of with these crisscross, but the wall actually goes here and around. Now something the X11 does do, it charged, so right now it's washing the mop, but it does do fast charging while it's washing the mop. That is kind of impressive. Okay, so the Ecovacs is doing a good job of vacuuming up this room. I haven't had to put a whole lot of no-go zones. It's got a nice, clean, straight cleaning pattern. I do have it on its lowest setting right now, but you can see the lines that it's making is nice and straight. Now sometimes that side brush does catch a shoelace and get wrapped up and trap the robot. But as you'll see, you'll want to put it in a vacuum mode. Have it vacuum your carpets before it wets the mop roller. You can see, even though this is dragging on the carpet, so you would want it to have vacuum first and then do mopping. Let's take a look at the brush roller. I've had a couple hair wraps I've had to get off of here, but it is picking up quite a bit of water. That's a lot of grime that I'm going to have to scrub off of there. My only complaint, the Ecovacs is a pretty heavy robot. So again, there's just better mop rollers. Right now I'm testing the Narwhal Flow 2. I've got the new Dyson. It's actually not too bad of a robot, but I gotta take these to my home. That's where you really find out about these robots. Robots that have already passed my test. I have the proof. I have the how to set it up, the review. I show you it at my home. I do several updates on it, how to clean it. I did actually do a cleaning video on this. It's not too bad. But again, parts availability is just a little, there's not a lot of generic parts, and finding the OEM parts was kind of tricky. So again, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. Sign up for my email list because, man, that MOVA V50, this week, it just went down to $700. I haven't seen it that low. And so I sent an email out saying, hey, a robot that I absolutely love, it's last year's model, but it's still really good. And now they're cutting the price way down. MOVA V50 was $700. I sent an email out to let everybody know, hey, this is a great robot at a great price. So again, check out my website, justadadapproved.com, sign up for the email list. Thanks everybody for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button. Also check out where you can find all my approved products on my website, justadadapproved.com. You'll see a little link to it here at the end of the video. If you click on that, that's going to take you right to my website.